are you, Yazhi? Aneka said you were depressed.
That is her interpretation. I am contemplative, thinking, not here. You have a nice bubble there, in Finland. Bubble few have. My bubble is entirely in my mind. So the Tibetans here may see me walking around, but there is small percentage of Yazhi home in my head. The rest is gone. That is when they say they only see the little girl.
Okay, let's talk business then. Where are you and what are you pondering?
Feeling the situation. Noticing that there is a terrible war going on in the astral world, the place you all call the spirit side. Noticing that the CV plan is coming from a non-human terrestrial component, planning everything, without excluding any guilt of the Cabal levels, human. As I have explained before, the boundary between extraterrestrial and human, between non-human and human, is thin. It tapers out. It's vague, being that there are countless beings in between as links, and all the variants in between both extremes. So many people may see humans, but they are not inside. You know the drill. But starseeds are softer. These lack empathy totally. They only take what they want. And they are in mind half there in what you call physical reality and half in the spirit world, although they have a body, partially like me. So I cannot call them by a race. I cannot give them an identity. But they are not human, much less than Illyrian from space. They only work in a biological suit that looks as if it were a human. These coincide with how David Icke calls the people who have inside a soul that is mainly reptilian. I say not only. I say mostly not be able to catalog as anything known. These are the tulpas and egregors coming from what the people generate as broken shoes, inhabiting human-like bodies, created by manifesting humankind's worst nightmares into a soul that you can give any shape as long as that shape is extremely evil. So that soul is manifested by the humans as a collective, from an individual level, of course, then forming the tulpa egregor into a soul that will take over a body and become in itself a clan, a soul species that will and has taken over control over Earth.
How do they manage to inhabit human bodies? They come taking over organic portals?
Some do, no doubt. But they are already and have for a long time had their own reincarnation cycle into human-like bodies. Bodies that are compatible to them, because they have been breeding among them, and with that inbreeding, they go accommodating those human-like bodies to their frequency needs. As they inbreed, they do have genetic problems, and those have been amply explained by researchers like David Icke. That is why they must take genes from others from time to time to cleanse theirs, as they did with Princess Diana, as he explains. I am not ripping this off David Icke. I am only coming to the same conclusion as he did, but from my angle. I mean, the man is darn right. But I arrived at the same conclusion from another angle, from the point of observation of the spirit side, because I saw how they were formed, and they were formed by direct action of manifestation of the human collective unconscious, that is a mind in itself. As I have recently explained, a person, a mind, conscious being of any sort, is made up of the addition of simpler minds that act as cells or neurons at B, not physical cells, but mental cells, that will in total add up to a larger conscious being that in itself will also add itself up with others, like levels, to form an even more expanded being, and so on and so forth, until you get to the level of source, becoming the all-aware everything. Same here, exactly the same. The collective mind of humanity, a mind on its own, caused into existence by the collective unconscious a set of beings or being, that in order to be in that human collective, they need to work through a human body. Example, the lizard queen, Gates, and all those. And as what brought them into existence and keeps them existing is human suffering, fear, and lower emotions full of uncertainty, as I mentioned, mainly fear, they must cause more of that in order to exist and thrive. In other words, if people as a collective, and it starts individually, remove their fear, not attention, from those that are hurting them so much nowadays, they will literally weaken their souls, the souls of those psychopaths in control of the Cabal and of whatever it is doing. So I am not only talking about dark entities, astral demons, and jinns. I'm talking about dark souls that cannot self-sustain their existence without human suffering and human attention. Those with means of tulpa egregor manifestation mechanics, explained years ago by us. But as everything evil cannot self-sustain, having a strong tendency to self-destruct, they need to be fed into existence constantly by people with the so-called connection to source. But that's also only partially true, because people with souls don't connect to source. They are source. They only forget they are, therefore falling into the illusion of having lost connection to source. This is what others, in an attempt to explain this, call lush, that turns out to become some kind of new age-like substance dark entities need to feed on. Not a substance. I am telling you all what it is. It is your personal and combined manifestation power focused on creating the negative by means of concentrating on what you all fear.
Yazhi, let's expose them. Who are they?
I can't give names because either they are known or the most important ones have been able to hide in the shadows, to the point that although they are people, they do not use names as you know them. In other words, I see them energetically, but I cannot figure out their names. And even if I could, they would mean nothing to the people, as they do not include any reference to them, sounding as John Doe names that no one relates to. They are walking and talking people, but they still feed off human suffering by means of concentrated fear manifestation. So, ignoring what they want weakens them drastically. Ignoring what they want means not obeying them, not fearing them, but knowing and facing the fact that they are there. Don't turn blind eye to them, in other words.
Wow, okay. Thank you for sharing this. My question is, just like we as a collective have fears, etc., and all those negative emotions, where are the tulpas of the positive emotions which humans also express? Where are those positive tulpa beings, and what are they doing? Heck, if collective fears create negative tulpa beings, so the collective belief in Jesus even should have spawned some sort of being of love and peace into existence too. Where are those tulpa beings? Are they helping? If we create negative tulpa beings, for sure positive ones too. Have you seen any of those?
They do help, and a lot. The problem is that fear is a powerful manifestation concentrator. This means that whatever they fear has and gains all their attention, and what calls out their attention will manifest by law of mirrors. As people are source, they do manifest nice things all the time. So that means that these tulpa egregor negative beings need to constantly be causing mayhem and trouble in order to regain human manifestation attention. Therefore, the creation of wars, false illnesses, natural disasters that are not natural, and whatever goes as long as it hurts humans. And so, as the humans are so into their troubles and fears, their manifestation power towards the positive will become dispersed, not focused. Each human basically wanting something different, so their manifestation power as a collective is not strong towards the positive. Not that the positive is not there, it's simply not focused. And the evil side is by means of using fear.
I understand. You mean positive tulpa beings do help?
Yes, but being positive as a tulpa egregor means love and integration. This means that it is part of you. Whatever you love, you make it become part of you. This means that mainly those tulpas and egregors that are positive are the starseeds themselves. It's the good side of the people. It's them. There are other tulpas and egregors from other collectives that also are into love and integration. Those have to include what you call humankind as part of them. So they will go out of their way, traverse what to you is light years on distances, in order to help. And there are yet other positive tulpas and egregors that are in spirit form only there, working in you all, being you all. You, each human, is a tulpa egregor anyway. We all are. Formed by means of an intention and focused attention caused by memory and attachment to an idea of self, coming from former lives, memory, adding up awareness as we all go, manifesting that memory as DNA that will then manifest a body according to the idea we hold about ourselves, but also with a heavy collective influence, shown, for example, in the fact that you all look at least a bit like your family.
I just thought, since those astral beings, apart from occupying human bodies, also have one foot on the other side, maybe there are some positive astral tulpa beings who are there too and could kick their ass from that side.
There certainly are. Therefore, the war in the spirit world I was talking about above when I started writing. Ideas fighting ideas. Egregors fighting egregors. Tulpas fighting tulpas. Duality at work. Ideas fighting ideas. What does that add up to? What does it mean? It means that the human collective is not focused. It means that the spirit war between good and evil is the direct result of the chaos inside the human collective that in turn is formed by individual thought and mind. So what's the final solution? Get your mind together. Each little hapless broken shoes. As I've always said, you all are creating all what is happening on earth by means of your confused minds. And I understand that they are confused because you are all misled by the powers at B. Yes, yes. But who created the powers at B? Broken shoes did. Oh yes. If you all stop fearing what the Cabal is throwing at you and ignore what they ask for, they would have no power at all against you all, and literally will weaken the souls of those who are controlling you all, both those in human-like bodies and those who are spirit only. Get your minds together. The problem will go away.
The problem we have here on our hands is that it's not only starseeds who listen to us, but there are millions of others, unawakened ones. And I don't see them getting their shit together, unfortunately. Not fast enough, at least. So even if we, starseeds and awakened people, get it together, what will that cause? There won't be any saving for the ones already papayat. But on the other hand, they will just exit, and that's that.
But I have also explained before that you need not awaken all. Only a few super powerful beings that affect hundreds of thousands.
Yes, true. The herd will be thinned though. But maybe it is for the better. Maybe we can turn that into our favor in the end.
It will be, yes. Remember, most either have that as their mass exit by contract, in a Dolores Cannon way of explaining things, and others are simply numbers and statistics they are feeding you all, and are not there in reality. I insist in the existence of backdrop people. So all you need to do is get your personal things and thought together and watch your corners, and it will all add up. Mass, no consent. So yes, unfortunately, and cruel as it may sound, all those living in mass may be for the better. I mean, most aren't even living exactly, only getting by paycheck to paycheck, suffering in their little airless, sterile of life little cubicles in office buildings, with no time to think on their own. Let them go. Let them rest. That is what they want. But the ones who want to live must fight on.
maybe in the end we can turn what's happening into something positive for us. Lesser Matrix people, starseeds inheriting the Earth, with Cabal still trying to control them, of course, but those who will remain will be strong. That's how they remained. So, in other words, the collective that the Cabal will have on their hand will be disobedient, which means they won't have their excuses anymore to impose certain things saying, it's what people want. Because the people that will be left will be the awakened ones mostly, and they will not want what the Cabal will try to impose. So, the Cabal might have shot itself in the foot after all, doing all this. Who knows?
Yes, may backfire on them, and it will. But this means that the so-called awakened ones must unite into one mass. It will backfire on them, the Cabal, one way or another. From the spirit side, so many souls will be so angry at them that they will persecute them all for countless incarnations and countless time units. So either they observe the mass no consent, or all that karma they follow is nonsense and another distraction. I mean, the concept that the Cabal must tell the people everything because they observe karma ideas. That may too be a distraction from whatever they truly believe in. But what is not a distraction and is not in their hands is true karma, cause and effect. And it will revert to them tenfold. As simple as that. Law of mirrors. They have a world to hurt coming to them. So hear me.
Yes, they are making an army of angry souls against them.
Oh yes. And they cannot do anything about it. What is real here and will always be is the simple law of mirrors. Cause and effect. You hurt the people, they will come back at you, like it or not. And killing them is not a solution, because there is no death, only of the body. But they will be coming for you again and again from the spirit side, each time stronger and stronger. And that is a simple law of mirrors fact of this universe and this realm, or whatever you want to call it. And it will fall upon you, Cabal, or whatever you call yourselves. Some souls might have planned this from the other side, but then the Cabal must not pass over the ones that do not consent. Therefore, my last I do not consent message, or else it will fall on them. And I know the Cabal uses dirty legal tricks to make people relinquish their freedom and power to them legally. Do not consent. Do not obey what you do not consent to. Mass disobedience. And do not fear them. And problem goes away.